Supreme above all, blesses the bride and the groom. Baruch haba mi'adir hakol, mi baruch hakol, mi gadol hakol, mi dagul hakol, hu yivorech es hachasan, v'es hakavod. Ben Sirso Sam Chachim Avakal Mesos Dodim Yivarech Es HaChasan V'es HaKara. May the Holy One who understands the speech of the rose amongst the thorns, the love of a bride who is the joy of those who love her, may He bless the groom and the bride. The whole reason, one of the many reasons that the bride walks around her husband 7 times. As for those who know a little bit of Bible, it goes back to the story of Jericho, Joshua and Jericho. And God commanded the children of Israel to walk around the walls of Jericho 7 times, and they'd come falling down. So there's something, if the Bible says that this is what happens, there's got to be something very deep going on here. There's something about walking around 7 times, and there's something about walls. So just like the walls can come down, you can also build walls by walking around. The chuppah is the first act that you do together as a married couple. It's an expression to provide a roof over her head. Another one of those strange expressions that came from ancient Judaism, that survived the centuries and found their way into our culture. And it's very indicative of the way a man thinks. I provide a roof over my wife's head. I'm the supporter, the provider, the hunter, the gatherer. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. But the way guys think, so many guys in the first year of marriage don't get it that there's a profound change and you just can't have the same Sunday afternoon guys hang out in the living room watching a ball game or Wednesday night out bowling or whatever else it is, because you got to check it with your wife first. A woman comes along that says, I'm so happy you're willing to support me, that you want to support me, but we need walls to define the outside world and the inside world. Because essentially a human being has no control over what happens outside. The only control you have is what happens within. As an individual within yourself, and as a family unit within the confines of your home. And if what's outside in the world is the same as what's inside your home, something wrong. When you walk through your front door and you see the mezuzah there, it's a sign that God has given you permission to sanctify this space, to make it your own, distinctly and uniquely yours. So you provide the roof over the head, you provide the sense between inside and outside, a deep understanding that this is our sanctified space. And it begins right here, by creating the walls. Walking around 7 times. And just as in ancient times they destroyed walls by walking around, you create the walls by walking around. We start out with a cup of wine, not just because we're very pragmatic and realize wine's a good thing to drink, unless you take it to excess, like so many other things. But this is known as the Erusin. There's 2 parts of the ceremony. In ancient times, they were held a year apart, which in some ways is kind of a shame that we've fallen into the way that we have, or we've developed into the way we have. The Erusin means to be bound up. That is to say, they come together, the bride and the groom, and they say, we think we want to make this happen, but how do you know until it happens? But you can't be immoral in the eyes of God. So you have a trial period where you stand together, you say, listen, we want to make this happen. And let's give ourselves a year to talk to each other, to get to know each other, to be friends, to be the best friends in the world, to know that we want to spend our lives together. And then the bride and the groom came back a year later with a chuppah, and the ketubah, and the ring. But because of the way circumstances occur in the development of history sometimes, we didn't have that luxury for hundreds and hundreds of years. So the rabbis took all the various component parts of the Erusin, the Kedushin, of the marriage, the chuppah, the ketubah, the ring, the yichud, and put it all together into one compact ceremony, because that's the way life developed for us. But we start out with a cup of wine, because it's symbolic of life the way it should be. For 2 reasons. One, it's intoxicating. It's not that you get drunk on wine. If you don't know what you're doing, you get drunk on wine and be in the gutter. But if you know what you're doing, a sip of wine makes you intoxicated. The difference between intoxicated and being drunk, a drunk looks at one person and sees 2. And somebody that's intoxicated on holiness looks at 2 people and sees 1. So we start out blessing you to be like the grapes. And how do you turn a grape into wine? The same way you take a man and a woman and turn them into one entity. 2 grapes sitting on a vine. It could be the cutest and loveliest, sweetest grapes in the whole world, but they're still 2 grapes, and there's no way they can share the same space. They could be next to each other, be the best friends, the closest 2 grapes in the whole world that ever existed. They can't share the same space. The only way they can share the same space is to give from their inner essence. To give themselves a squeeze. To let out their inner essence. And to merge their inner essence. And that's what wine is. 2 grapes come together, they get squeezed. Out comes their inner essence, the juice. And it grows together. And it becomes an intoxicating beverage. Something that's put inside. That unlocks the wisdom and the secrets of life. The Talmud says, Nifnasayin Yitzesar. Wine goes in, and secrets come out. And wine comes into us, hopefully, the deepest secrets that you have. We start out with a cup of wine, with some blessings over it, in the hopes that the deepest secrets that you have for each other will come to the surface and begin to merge so that the 2 of you, 2 holy grapes, will become one intoxicating cup of wine. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafen. We give thanks to God, the ruler of the universe, who has created the fruit of the vine. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvosav v'tzivanu al haroyos, V'asuranu es arusas, v'hitiranu es anusios lanu al-yedei chuppah v'kiddushin. Baruch atah Adonai, v'kadesh amo Yisrael al-yedei chuppah v'kiddushin.